Hello everyone, and welcome back to the second part in our three-part series exploring Dante's Inferno. In continuing our examination of some of the themes of the Inferno, we now turn to examine the transformative relationship between Virgil and Dante within the first part of the Divine Comedy. The theme of guide and relationship runs throughout the Divine Comedy. Virgil is Dante's guide through hell and purgatory. Beatrice takes over for Virgil and becomes Dante's guide to enter into heaven and guides him through the early circles of paradise. Beatrice is then later replaced by Saint Bernard of Clairvaux, the great Augustinian philosopher and theologian of divine love in the Middle Ages, as he progresses towards the Holy Trinity. Love is the theme that unites all of Dante's guides, and this is why we're now going to explore that aspect within Dante's relationship to Virgil. So we ask ourselves the question, why did Dante choose Virgil? There are many reasons. Dante is Italian and therefore rooted in Roman culture, blood, and history. Virgil was the greatest of the Roman poets. Dante wants to be the greatest of the Italian poets. Virgil comes to know this and remarks to Dante that he is proud while they journey up the mountain of purgatory. Dante was a lover, and love runs replete through Dante's own works. Virgil was the great poet of love in the Roman tradition. Love is a central theme in all of Virgil's poetry. Because of this, Virgil was regarded as the most Christian of the Greek and Roman poets before Christ. St. Augustine even regarded him as a pre-Christian prophet, as did various other of the Latin church fathers. The choice of Virgil as the poet of love is also symptomatic of the relationship that the two build throughout the poem, which I will now hopefully be able to parse out. Virgil as Dante's guide has been one of the most commented on and speculated in the literary reception of Divine Comedy. When we first meet Virgil, it is after Dante is unable to ascend the mountain to heaven, blocked by three vicious creatures who deny Dante his path up the mountain. Virgil informs Dante he is to journey with him through hell before he can begin his ascent up the slopes of Mount Purgatory to heaven. The relationship between Dante and Virgil changes dramatically over the course of the poem. Their relationship reaches its consummation in purgatory, as Virgil becomes a sort of father figure for Dante, and Dante even calls Virgil father on several occasions, thus sealing their relational development. The emphasis on the relationship between Dante and Virgil is deliberately inserted by Dante to highlight the relational anthropology of Christianity. Humans are not simply sociable animals, but deeply relational and affectionate animals with emotions and desires, and that learning and trust is often accompanied by others. So not only do we look to others for love and warmth, we also look to others for learning, trust, and guidance in our intellectual lives as well. Right from the start, we see a relationship that is quasi-antagonistic, in which Dante and Virgil are somewhat estranged in the beginning of their relationship at the start of the poem. Virgil is serving as the tour guide for the pilgrim Dante and nothing more than that, while Virgil informs Dante of what is before him and Dante as they journey through hell. Hearing the screams of the reprobate continues to cause Dante to have discontent about what he is about to enter. Virgil sort of looks at Dante in this moment as a fool and an idiot. Dante, worried about the screams of others, is blind to the reality that they are entering into hell, and Virgil basically accosts him that, hey, look, we're entering into hell. Virgil is merely talking to Dante, and Dante talking to Virgil at the beginning of the Inferno. They are not so much talking with each other or dependent upon each other at the early stage of this journey through hell and purgatory. Instead, they are very much tied to each other simply as objects, much like the souls in hell. Over time, however, this invisible wall between the two starts to dissipate, and the two are being brought closer together in friendship and dependence. Not only does Dante need Virgil, Virgil in some respects needs Dante too. Furthermore, Virgil takes it upon himself to save Dante from Medusa as they're about to enter into the city of Dis, because Virgil doesn't trust Dante as of yet. Herein lies another element to the story that is important for us to realize. Trust. After all, it is in the sixth circle, entering the city of Dis, that we see the rejection of truth and trust, as we covered in the first lecture, as appearing. Though the two are growing closer together in friendship to this point, their relationship is not yet sealed. Virgil doesn't trust Dante not to look at the head of Medusa and be turned to stone. After all, Dante is still alive. So Virgil covers Dante's face to make sure Dante doesn't look. Yet while Virgil doesn't trust Dante at this point, Virgil's actions also signify a growing love to Dante, where he loves Dante enough to shield him from potential death. It is only through the divine intervention of an angel, a deus ex machina, that the duo can proceed into the walls of the city of Dis. It is within the walls of Dis, the sixth through ninth circles of hell, that the relationship between Dante and Virgil is most notably transformed. Their relationship also serves as the opposite of the innermost crevices of hell. Whereas the sixth through ninth circles of hell are filled with the denial of truth, betrayal, and lack of love, Dante and Virgil stand out within hell as having truth, as Virgil teaches Dante, friendship and trust, as Dante leans on Virgil to get him through hell, and love, through the light that is Virgil and the friendship and dependence that is fostered between the two as they descend further into the lair of the beast. In the third Bolgia, the eighth circle of hell, there is a transformative moment, an expression of self-giving love between the two, as Dante comes ever closer to Virgil in their journey. As they need to descend the mountain to reach the banks of one of the rivers where Dante wishes to converse with one of the damned souls, the two have a dialogue with each other, where Virgil offers to carry the tired pilgrim to the lower bank, and Dante responds that he wishes to do whatever that will please Virgil. This is a moment of self-giving and pleasing love between the two, which stands as a stark and beautiful dialectical contrast to what the rest of hell is like, and indeed what their relationship at the beginning of the poem was. Quote, "Who is that one, master, that angry wretch, who is writhing more than any of his comrades? I asked, the one licked by a redder flame, and he to me, if you want to be carried down along that lower bank to where he is, you can ask him who he is and why he's there. And my pleasure is what pleases you. You are my lord. You know that from your will I will not swerve. You even know my thoughts." Canto 19, lines 31 to 39. And so it is that their relational transformation comes to the fore at this moment in the Inferno. Dante trusts Virgil, and Virgil trusts Dante, and is willing to help Dante more than just teach or instruct Dante intellectually, which had been the formation and the movement of their relationship up to this point. They are being brought closer together in the flesh. This also reflects an important idea within Christian anthropology, that we are more than just our souls. We are body and soul. The joys of the soul are also to be the joys of the body, and vice versa, which is why the harm of the soul becomes the harm of the body, and the harm of the body the harm of the soul in Christian thinking. There is a unity between the two. Friends who are brought closer together at the intellectual or spiritual level will also be brought closer together in the earthly or bodily level, sharing and helping one another in each other's physical trials and pains, as evidenced by Virgil's offering to help the beleaguered and exhausted Dante down to the bank to have a conversation with Pope Nicholas III, who is revealed to have been the damned soul that Dante wanted to converse with. The end of the 19th canto highlights the transformative self-giving friendship and trust fostered by Dante and Virgil, and that this friendship and love that is accompanied by it is the only light that is in hell. The love of Dante and Virgil will allow them to persevere through hell, which again is a loveless place. Love conquers all, just as Virgil declared in his poem, The Eclogues. As Dante describes, and they proceed through hell, he again gives us this transformative moment in their relationship. Quote, "Then he took hold of me with both his arms, and when he had me firm against his breast, he climbed back up the path he had come down. He did not tire of the weight clasped tight to him, but brought me to the top of the bridge's arch, the one that joins the fourth bank to the fifth. And here he gently set his burden down, gently, for the ridge, so steep and rugged, would have been hard even for the goats to cross. From there another valley opened to me." Canto 19, lines 124 to 133. There is no more fear in Dante at this point, turning to Virgil for help, as there was before in the earlier cantos of the Inferno. Whatever concerns Dante had have now been overcome. Virgil, as depicted by Dante, takes tender care of him as they journey, and as he places him gently down on the patch of ground that would be dangerous even to the goats. Furthermore, as they continue their journey in Canto 21, Virgil opens up to Dante and describes his family and homeland to him, a further reflection of the trust growing between the two. As the two get closer to the 9th circle, as they journey through the other Bulgias in the 8th circle of hell, it should become clear to the reader that the two need each other more than they had in the previous circles of hell. Virgil opens himself up to Dante, picking him up and journeying down the rocks in Canto 24. Virgil offers consolation and fortitude to a weakened Dante to overcome his fears. And finally, the ultimate moment of the sealing of their relationship, transformed inside Inferno, is completed when a disgruntled Virgil, over Dante's dallying, forgives him. Canto 30. This is the only moment of forgiveness, pardon, and repentance within the entire, all the circles of hell. This is precisely what hell lacks, and this moment of forgiveness and final consummation of love and trust between Dante and Virgil is what was needed for them to proceed into the 9th and final circle of hell, where the traitors are located. In this moment, Dante and Virgil are truly brought together as a united party. They needed each other to make it through the 9th and final circle of hell, and the consummation of love, which is in sacrifice, is also, in the Christian tradition, in forgiveness. Thus, it is intentional that Virgil forgives Dante, and Dante accepts Virgil's forgiveness. As we note here, it is Virgil, in being displeased with Dante, who recognizes that his displeasure is unwarranted and asks Dante's forgiveness. And in order for Dante to proceed into the ninth and final circle of hell, he must forgive Dante, which of course he does. Within the Inferno, the relationship between Dante and Virgil is an important one to take notice of, as I've hopefully made clear, at least briefly, in this talk. As mentioned, Dante uses their relationship to contrast the good with the bad, between what is ideal and what was rejected in earthly life, therefore meriting for the soul their current positions in hell. Hell is a loveless and truthless place. Dante and Virgil's relationship, as they journey through hell, becomes one of love and trust as they proceed closer and closer to the final circle. As such, hell is dark and frozen because hell lacks love and light. And this lack of love and light brings only destruction and separation, which is what we see in all the circles of hell, but in particular and most manifestly clear in the ninth circle of hell. But as the two make their journey through hell, they are brought together through love and the light that shone forth from this transformative relationship. Hell is also a place where no forgiveness is offered, but Virgil comes to forgive Dante, and Dante accepts Virgil's offering of forgiveness, and the two can proceed to enter the ninth circle of hell. The relationship between the two was deliberately constructed by Dante to mirror the ideal of human life, and in showing it play out in hell, did so in stark contrast with what the consequences of lack of love, truth, and friendship does to people and society, represented by the souls in hell and the discombobulated and dying and decadent city that is Dis. To this end, I must inform you that if you have not picked it up already or not made aware in earlier readings, that the entire journey through hell to heaven is one of love, beauty, and truth. Hell is loveless, ugly, and truthless. It is Dante and Virgil who are the only reflections or embodiments of love, beauty, and truth as seen in their relationship in their journey through hell. As the two pilgrim up purgatory, this is further transformed to a father and son relationship, the most beautiful and loving and truthful relationship that one can have in earthly life. And before Dante must depart from Virgil to enter heaven, Virgil passes Dante on to Beatrice, who is even a greater embodiment of love, beauty, and truth than the relationship of Virgil and Dante, because it is the love that Dante had for Beatrice and Beatrice's love for Dante that caused her to send Virgil to be his guide in the first place. Thus we see in Dante's and Virgil's relationship, particularly in the Inferno, but continuing on through purgatory, a growth of love, of relationality, ultimately culminating in the father-son relationship that they achieve in purgatory. Thank you.